Have you ever gazed into a mirror and felt as if a stranger were staring back at you? In a silent room, you find yourself face to face with a reflection that looks like you in every detail. The same eyes, the same lines and scars of life, but something essential seems missing. The eyes in the glass are hollow with a question, asking silently, "Who are you, really?" In that still moment, you realize you cannot answer easily. You have a name, a history, a list of things you like and dislike, yet beyond those familiar facts lies a vast uncharted territory, the true self behind the mirror's glass. We go through life wearing many masks. Every day, a different role. A dutiful friend, a perfect child, a diligent worker, a loving partner. Each mask fits so snugly that after a while, you forget it's there. You smile when expected, nod politely, even when a quiet voice inside disagrees. Over years, these masks layer over one another, forming a shell that the world sees. And slowly, quietly, the shell thickens, until even you start to believe that the mask is all you are. You lose sight of the face beneath. Self-awareness begins to slip away like a dream upon waking, leaving only the script of who you are supposed to be, not who you truly are. One evening, in the hush after nightfall, you sit alone under a dim lamp. The day's noise has faded. In that gentle solitude, something stirs in your chest, a subtle ache, a yearning you can't quite name. Perhaps it's triggered by a small event, the kindness of a stranger that caught you off guard, or a disappointment that cut deeper than it should. You feel a crack in the smooth mask you present to the world. Through the crack, something real begins to glow. A memory surfaces. Maybe you are a child again, standing barefoot in the backyard, feeling the wet grass between your toes and gazing up at the stars with wonder. That child had no masks, no pretenses, just raw curiosity and feelings worn openly. Where did that child go? Is that pure self still alive within you, waiting behind cautious eyes and forced smiles? In the stillness, you let yourself listen to that gentle inner voice, one that you've hushed for so long. It speaks in feelings, not words. A surge of longing when you think about a dream you abandoned. A pang of sadness when you remember how you changed yourself to please others. A spark of joy at the thought of something simple and true, like dancing alone in your room or laughing with a dear friend. These feelings are clues, breadcrumbs leading you back to yourself. Following them takes courage. It means peeling back layers of who you thought you had to be. It means facing fears, the fear that you won't like what you find, or that others won't like it. But each layer you peel away, each mask you set down, brings you closer to that childlike soul at your core, the one that gazed at the world with eyes of wonder and knew itself without question. Self-awareness, you come to realize, is not a destination, but a journey, one that spirals inward and has no end. It's like walking through a dark forest with only a lantern. The forest is vast and full of shadows, memories and emotions you've tucked away. At first, the darkness is daunting. You're tempted to turn back to the safety of the well-lit path of routine and roles. But something urges you on. You step deeper into the trees. With each step, the lantern's glow reveals more. Here a hidden fear crouches like a wild creature. There a forgotten passion glimmers like an ancient coin half buried in soil. The more you explore, the more you learn the landscape of your own heart. The fear that once loomed in the dark begins to shrink when you hold it up to your light. You find that the wild creature is not an enemy, but a wounded part of you that wants understanding and compassion. And that glimmering coin? It is a piece of your authentic self, a talent, a love, a truth, long neglected but never truly lost. As you venture deeper, you stumble upon a mirror in those woods, a pond so still it reflects your face by moonlight. You kneel by the water and finally meet your own eyes without flinching. The reflection you see is neither the stranger that frightened you, nor the polished mask you wear for others. It is simply you, as you are. You see the worry that has etched lines on your brow, the tenderness in your smile, the strength in your set jaw after surviving so many quiet battles. You see the flicker of hope and goodness in your gaze that no amount of cynicism has fully snuffed out. Kneeling there, you acknowledge this person, in the reflection, as someone worth knowing, someone worth caring for. Memories drift by like fallen leaves on the pond's surface. You recall moments when you betrayed yourself, saying yes when you meant no, staying silent to avoid conflict, molding yourself to fit someone else's expectations. Each memory sends a ripple across the water, momentarily blurring the reflection. These are painful realizations, times when you abandoned yourself in small ways. Acknowledge them. Each is a lesson, a reminder of why you lost sight of who you are. But as the ripples settle, your image returns, clearer now for having faced those truths. Compassion wells up inside you. Compassion for the person who made those mistakes, who was afraid, who didn't know better at the time. You realize that to know yourself, you must also forgive yourself for all the ways you wandered astray. The forest of self-awareness has its shadows, yes, but also its moonlit clearings. In one such open space within you, you find a quiet peace. You sit down on an old tree stump, feeling the solid earth beneath you. This is a moment of simple being. No expectations, no roles to play, no one watching or judging. Just you, breathing, alive, present. In that presence, you sense something profound. You are allowed to just be. The myriad identities you juggle fall silent for now. You are not defined by your job, your social image, your successes or failures. You are the one who experiences all those things, but you are also more than them. You are the awareness behind them. Thoughts and feelings swirl within like a gentle breeze, but now you observe them with curiosity instead of letting them carry you away. A thought of inadequacy arises. You see it and let it pass, recognizing it as just a thought, not a decree of truth. A feeling of hope follows. You smile at it, welcoming its warmth, but not clinging to it as a lifeline. In this state of awareness, you start to realize a liberating truth. You are not your thoughts, not your feelings, but the observer of them. The sky, not the weather. The ocean, not the waves. This perspective gives you space to truly see yourself, not as a fixed character, but as a living being capable of change, growth, and depth. Dawn eventually breaks in your inner forest. The first light of morning finds you changed, or perhaps returned to who you've been all along. When you rise and walk back out of that introspective woods into the world, you carry with you a new sense of self. It is quiet, but solid. Imagine stepping out into the morning sun, dew clinging to your shoes, heart freshly washed by the night's reflections. The world feels different, though nothing externally has changed. It is you who have changed. Your eyes, now clear, recognize the person in the mirror as yourself, and you greet that self with kindness. Of course, life will pull you again into its theater. The roles and masks await as you step back into daily life's stage, work to do, people to meet. The difference now is that you wear those masks more lightly. You know they are masks, not your skin. You can put them on when needed and take them off when you are alone or with those you trust. And sometimes you may slip and forget again. You might lose yourself briefly in anger, in envy, or in trying to be someone you're not. But the memory of that quiet night and the forest within you will call you back. Self-awareness is a practice, not a one-time revelation. Each day offers a new mirror, a chance to see yourself honestly in how you react, what you choose, and what you feel. In becoming self-aware, You have befriended yourself in a world that often encourages us to neglect who we truly are. This friendship with oneself is a lifelong source of strength. It means you are never truly alone. The deepest part of you is with you, understanding and guiding. It also means you can connect with others more honestly. When you know who you are, you no longer seek validation in the same desperate ways. Other people's opinions, like passing clouds, do not permanently darken your sky. You can love more freely because you are not afraid of losing yourself in someone else. You've found a home in you. In the end, the mirror that once unsettled you becomes an ally. When you look into it now, you see eyes that might still hold unanswered questions, because the journey of knowing oneself never ends. But you also see courage and truth. You see a person who has walked through their own darkness with a lantern in hand and returned, carrying the quiet glow of understanding. And perhaps the most beautiful realization is this: the stranger you feared in the mirror was never a stranger at all, just a part of you waiting to be acknowledged. With each day of mindful living, with each honest introspection, that once mysterious reflection becomes a beloved familiar face. And as you step away from the mirror, you carry that sense of self with you, an inner compass guiding you through the complexities of life, always pointing back to your true north, the authentic you, awake and aware.